Women over 60, the 5 boundaries that make men commit faster because he knows you'll walk away. Ladies over 60, please don't skip this video because what I'm about to tell you today can save you months, even years of confusion, mixed signals, and heartbreak. If you've ever said, "He was so into me at first, and then he got vague," or "We had chemistry, and then he stopped trying," I need you to hear this clearly. Most men don't delay commitment because you're not attractive enough. They delay commitment because they don't feel any urgency to step up. And urgency is not created by begging, explaining, overgiving, or being the understanding woman. Urgency is created when a man senses one quiet truth about you. You will walk away if your standards aren't met. Now, let me be very clear. Boundaries are not control. Control is trying to force someone to behave a certain way. A boundary is simply you stating what you will and will not live with, and what you will do to protect your own peace if the line is crossed. Source. That difference matters because a lot of women were taught to be easy to love, low maintenance, and flexible. But after 60, flexibility without standards doesn't make a man commit. It makes him comfortable doing the bare minimum. And that brings me to Margaret. Margaret was 67 when she re-entered the dating world after being widowed. She wasn't naive. She wasn't chasing attention. She was warm, classy, emotionally mature, and still she kept living the same frustrating pattern. The first date would be great, the second would be promising, and then the man would drift. No follow-up, no clarity, no real consistency. One afternoon, she sat across from her friend Linda at their usual coffee shop, and Linda was venting about a man who texted sweet things but kept everything convenient for him. Last-minute plans, vague promises, and just enough attention to keep her hopeful. Linda said, "I don't understand. I'm not asking for a ring. I'm not demanding anything. I just want a grown man who's clear." Margaret didn't smile. She didn't sugarcoat it. She leaned in and said, "Linda, the reason he can stay vague is because you're acting like there's no consequence. A serious man commits faster when he knows he has to earn access to you. And an unserious man disappears the moment he realizes you won't accept half love." That's what this video is about. Today, I'm giving you the 5 boundaries that make the right kind of man commit faster. Not because you pressured him, not because you played games, but because your boundaries create structure, self-respect, and clarity in the relationship. Healthy boundaries are meant to protect your emotional well-being and make expectations clear. Source. And one more thing. This is important. A good man will not be scared off by healthy boundaries. A good man will feel relieved by them because they communicate maturity. The only men who get offended by boundaries are the men who benefited from you not having any. So, if you're ready, let's get into boundary number 1, the boundary that instantly changes how a man treats your time. Because the moment you stop accepting last-minute energy, you stop attracting last-minute men. Boundary number 1. You don't accept last-minute plans or backup option treatment. A man who's serious about you doesn't only reach for you when it's convenient. He plans for you. He protects time for you. He treats your schedule like it matters. But a lot of women over 60, good women, fall into a trap. The trap is thinking, if I just stay flexible, he'll appreciate me. No, he'll adjust to whatever you tolerate. If he texts at 7 p.m. saying, "Are you free tonight?" and you keep saying yes, canceling your plans, rearranging your life, you are teaching him a dangerous lesson. Access to you is easy, instant, and doesn't require effort. Margaret learned to respond with calm clarity. When Robert tried the last-minute move early on, Margaret didn't scold him. She didn't lecture him. She simply said, "Tonight doesn't work for me, but I'm free Saturday at 6 if you'd like to make a plan." That one sentence did 3 things at once. It showed she had a life, it showed she was interested, and it required him to behave like a man who plans.
Healthy boundaries create self-respect, clarity, and structure in relationships, and time boundaries are one of the most important because time is your life. Source: if a man can't plan for you, he's not building anything, he's sampling. And here's the line you need to memorize. You are not a late-night convenience. You are a planned-for woman. Boundary number 2. You end disrespectful communication immediately. No debate, no drama. A lot of women think respect is something you earn by being sweet, patient, forgiving, and understanding. Respect is something you command by what you do when it's violated. Disrespect doesn't always come in obvious forms like shouting. Often it comes dressed up as humor. Little digs, sarcastic comments, eye rolls, condescending jokes, that tone that makes you feel small. This matters because relationship research is very clear that contempt, mockery, disrespect, "I'm better than you" energy is the strongest predictor of divorce. Now, this script isn't about divorce, it's about commitment, but the principle is the same. A man will not commit deeply to a woman he doesn't respect, and he will not respect a woman who negotiates her own dignity. Margaret's rule was simple. When disrespect appears, the conversation stops. Not after 10 minutes, not after she tries to explain, not after she proves she's right. Immediately. When Robert once said something dismissive, one of those comments that could be brushed off if she wanted to, Margaret looked at him and said calmly, "I'm not available for a conversation that includes disrespect. If you want to speak to me with respect." Then she went quiet. No argument, no lecture, no emotional performance. That silence is powerful because it removes the man's favorite escape route, turning it into a debate. And here's the hidden truth. The way a conflict conversation starts predicts where it ends. Harsh starts, criticism, sarcasm, almost always lead to negative outcomes. So when you shut down disrespect early, you aren't being dramatic, you're being wise. Because if a man wants a future with you, he must learn one basic rule. Access to you requires respect. Boundary number 3. You don't stay in vague situationship energy past a reasonable time. A lot of men will keep you in the gray zone as long as you allow it. They'll enjoy companionship. They'll enjoy intimacy. They'll enjoy your support. They'll enjoy having someone to call. But when it comes to clarity, they suddenly become not a labels person. Listen carefully. A man doesn't need to know everything about the future to know whether he wants to move forward with you. This boundary is not you demanding marriage. This boundary is you refusing to live in indefinite ambiguity. Margaret's line was mature and clean. She would say, "I'm looking for a real partnership. I'm not looking for something casual or undefined. If we're not aligned, that's okay, but I need to know." Notice what that does. It doesn't force him to choose you. It forces him to choose truth. And truth accelerates commitment because a serious man relaxes when the relationship is clear, and an unserious man gets exposed. Boundaries are meant to clarify expectations and protect your emotional well-being, not blur your reality until you lose yourself. This boundary is especially important after 60 because time is not unlimited and your peace is priceless. If he wants the benefits of you but refuses the clarity of you, he's not building, he's renting. Boundary number 4. You don't do all the relationship work. You require reciprocity. This is where so many good women lose the game without realizing it. They text first, they plan the dates, they keep the conversation alive, they check in, they smooth over awkwardness, they understand the inconsistency, they carry the emotional labor, and then they wonder why he isn't committing. because from his perspective, the relationship runs without him. A man commits faster when he has to invest. A man values what he contributes to. So your boundary is not, I never initiate. That becomes a game. Your boundary is, I will not carry this alone. Margaret taught Linda a rule. If you've initiated the last 2 or 3 times, you stop initiating. Not as punishment, just as truth testing. And when he reaches out, you respond warmly. You're not cold. You're not playing hard to get. You're just refusing to overfunction. If he steps up, great. He's showing interest. If he disappears, even better. He's giving you information. Because here's what boundaries are designed to do. They reveal reality quickly. And reality is the fastest path to commitment or the fastest path to freedom. One of the clearest boundary principles is this: don't apologize, don't over-explain, and don't set consequences you won't enforce, because empty boundaries teach people to ignore you. So if he repeatedly gives you crumbs and you keep building a relationship out of crumbs, he learns crumbs are enough. Your boundary changes that. Your boundary says reciprocity is the entrance fee.
Boundary number 5. You respect privacy, but you don't tolerate secrecy. Transparency is required for commitment. This boundary is delicate, especially for older adults. Many people have been in controlling marriages. They don't want to be policed. They don't want to report everything, and that's valid. But here's what's also true. Commitment requires trust. Trust requires transparency. Privacy sounds like, I'm going to have dinner with my friend Bill. Secrecy sounds like, why do you need to know where I'm going? Privacy is, I'm going to take a little time to myself tonight. Secrecy is disappearing, vague schedules, defensive reactions, and making you feel guilty for noticing. So Margaret's boundary wasn't, hand me your phone. Her boundary was, I don't do relationships where I feel like I'm dating a mystery. I need basic transparency to feel safe. That's not control. That's self-protection. And that's what healthy emotional boundaries do. They clarify what makes you feel safe and what makes you feel unstable. A man who's serious about you won't punish you for needing emotional safety. He'll want to create it. A man who isn't serious will call you paranoid, so you stop asking questions. Your boundary protects you from that. Why these 5 boundaries make a man commit faster? Because they communicate 3 things men over 60 crave, especially the good ones. They communicate stability, not chaos. They communicate self-respect, not desperation. They communicate a relationship that will be peaceful, not draining. And there's something deeper. Long-term desire and commitment require a balance between closeness and autonomy, knowing your partner while still respecting their separateness. When intimacy becomes fusion, desire suffers. Healthy boundaries protect that balance, and that balance keeps attraction alive. Source. So boundaries don't just get him to commit. They keep you from collapsing into a relationship that eats you alive. And paradoxically, that's what makes you the kind of woman a man wants to keep. The key: short, calm, consistent, with real consequences. Here's where most women fail. They state a boundary, then they negotiate it away. They say, I don't accept last-minute plans. Then they accept them. They say, I don't tolerate disrespect. Then they stay and argue for 2 hours. They say, I need consistency. Then they chase inconsistency. A boundary without a consequence is a preference. So keep it simple. I'm not available for that. This doesn't work for me. If this continues, I will step back. I'm going to end this conversation now. And then you follow through. And remember, you don't have to be mean to be firm. You don't have to be cold to be clear. You don't have to be loud to be powerful. If you're over 60, you've earned the right to stop auditioning for love. You don't need to convince a man to commit. You need to become the kind of woman who won't stay when he won't. Because the right man doesn't run from boundaries. He respects them. He relaxes inside them. He commits faster because he knows exactly what kind of woman you are.
And the wrong man? He leaves. That's not rejection, that's protection. If this video helped you, comment below which boundary you're going to set first. And if you want, tell me what situation you're in right now. Last-minute plans, inconsistency, disrespect, vagueness, and I'll help you find the exact words to set your boundary with calm confidence. Subscribe to 60 Wise Living Advice, and I'll see you in the next video.